Hey guys, Aerithia here with episode 4 of this Planet Coaster series. We still don't have a name yet, but I will probably pick one next week when we start making the gates. But for today, we'll start making a hotel. And someone gave me this idea, Franklin Dude was the name. The idea to make a resort style hotel. I don't exactly know if this looks exactly like that, but it's gonna be a pretty cool building nonetheless. I really like the idea because in hotels you have souvenir shops, and I didn't really have an idea yet of how I wanted to do that. And now we had a place to put those, also the toilets and the first aid, ATM, and that's probably all of them. So next to the shops we'll also do some cool things for the interior. I will make a desk and some elevators, but yeah, for now I'm just making the layout of this building, so don't mind the colors too much yet. I find in some cases it's a bit easier to make the layout first instead of choosing which colors and patterns I'm going to use right away. That does mean though that I have to replace a lot of objects, so it's not my preferred way to do things, but for bigger buildings I think it works a little bit better. Otherwise I'm just constantly searching for objects in the menu way too much, and that takes up so much time. I do really like what I did with the path on the sides here. That idea came kind of from what I've seen in Miami. I've only been to America once, but some of the inspiration came from that, from what I've seen over there, like the path here. You know how some hotels have sort of a ramp so that you can drive your car all the way up to the door for your luggage and stuff like that. So that's where that idea kind of came from. And of course I only took some inspiration from that and not trying to replicate anything. But now I'm just filling it in with rocks and plants, and I think I'm looking for something that I can put around this tree, yeah. And I use this fountain, so I had to lower it down a bit so you wouldn't see the water. Don't exactly know why I did this now. Normally I make the building first and then start decorating, but yeah, this building kind of came easy to me, unlike the food court that was a little bit harder. I don't know why I struggled so much with that, but this one came really easy and it was a lot of fun to do. I made a few changes to the food court, by the way. Not a lot of them, but I got two comments about how I could run into some trouble with just the one stairs we had. So I made two paths to go inside of the building and put some toilets in there as well. I also made some buildings to fill in the other side, so that is finished now, and I completely redid the fountain. It still kind of bothered me that I couldn't work out my first idea to make a fountain with the real water and some rocks. The longer I looked at it, it just didn't feel right. Too pirate-like, and for the centerpiece of the main street, it was just really out of place for me. The problem was that for some reason I couldn't edit the terrain on one side of the circle, but after I worked with these rocks underneath the entrance of the hotel, and the alpine rocks look really amazing, by the way, I just decided to give it a go and delete part of the path. That seemed to fix it. Some things seemed to be a little bit buggy, but yeah, it wasn't that easy to get the path back the way it was, and I couldn't exactly get it the way it was, but luckily it's hardly noticeable. I will show you in real time what you've missed so far, what I did off screen. For this side of the main street though, I was planning to make this more like a main street with some smaller buildings, but the hotel will be so big that it will fill in this entire right side. But it's good. The main street was never meant to be a long process because I just really want to get to the themed areas. I kind of feel like my head is exploding with ideas and I just need to get them out. So this was about the size this hotel was gonna be, and when I was done, I showed it to Osira, and he was like, "This is a little bit plain for you. I'm used to more." So he liked it, and it was cool, but he felt like I could do better, and I was really like, "But but I'm done," and I was so happy that I was finally done after a few hours. But he was so right. Maybe because I'm so focused on getting through the themed areas, I was slacking off a little bit. So I thought about it the whole evening, and I extended the building a little bit the next day. Made some wings to this building, so it's a lot bigger and it feels more like a hotel. It should be big though, because it's a theme park and it's the only hotel we're gonna make probably. So if you think a little bit about what's realistic, there are a lot of guests in a theme park, and you always have more than a few thousand in a big theme park like this. So it should be a big hotel, and I will show you in real time how I extended it. Now that I'm thinking about it though, maybe we will have more hotels. It would be a lot of fun to have a hotel for every separate dimension. Yeah, that could be a bit of fun. Most of the time when you start a new series, at least if you do it like this, you start off with a lot of modular building, which is fine because I love doing it, but for a little bit of variation, I do want to start working on connecting the radius next week. Make maybe something like a ride skin that I could put up on the workshop. I've been trying a few things out already, but it's kind of hard to make something for such a big ride. And not that it has to be as big as the ride, but in comparison to the ride, it needs to be something at least. I think it will look really cool if I put a building in front of it as an entrance building, because it will kind of close off the main street at the same time. And if I can't work it out, I could also just put some trees around it and get back to it later if I don't like the look of it. But next week we'll work on that a bit and make the gates. Which should be a lot of fun because I get to figure out the styles of the different dimensions a little bit. The plan kind of is to make sort of a tunnel. You walk through and see how the themes overlap from one side to the other. I also had another idea, but I don't think I can do it anymore because there was a sign, I believe it was called something like a hypnotic sign. It was animated, but it isn't anymore, and it really sucks because I was planning on using that like you would walk through a portal, but I guess I have to drop that idea and just make a cool gate or tunnel to go into the different dimensions. I probably just will make a lake like I mentioned before. Maybe I'll surround it with mountains and waterfalls, something like that. That could be a pretty nice backdrop for the entrance for the main street, and you go through the tunnel, through the mountain or something like that to go to the different areas, and we can just start off making different styled mountains from there on out. So that could be really cool. I don't really know what theme I will start with yet. I think I will figure out a lot of this stuff when I start making these gates and start working with the different themes. I do have a lot of ideas for the western theme though, but we'll see. So right now I figured I would use the modern wood for the hotel. I've been using that as a floor for the food court as well. Choosing some of the same patterns in an area like this makes it really feel like everything fits well together. And it really changed the look of the hotel, which was really needed. It looked way too plain, so when I was working on the inside it just felt like I needed something to make it stand out a little bit more, and started adding these pillars. So I started replacing things on the exterior with the modern wood as well, and I've never really been a fan of this one. I kind of like the more grayish types of wood colors, but at the same time I never did something this contemporary in Planet Coaster before. I think it works well for a floor most of the time, but in this building it fits so well and will look really nice with the trees I will put around it. So we're back on the inside where I started working on some elevators, and I used some of the sci-fi objects to make it look like an elevator, and I'm pretty happy with the result. It was kind of fun to figure out how I would do this. They look a little bit too sci-fi for this area probably because of the details in them, but it looks really cool, so I will just leave it like this. I've been thinking a lot this week about exactly what I want to do. I'm excited about the concept with the portals and the dimensions, but I think I can do more. So I had an idea for the park. Most of you know the movie Cowboys and Aliens, right? I've seen a few people already mixing those themes in Planet Coaster, but I want to take it a step further. Since we're doing something with different dimensions, I thought it would be really cool if the aliens invaded every dimension. We could do something like a galleon shooting at a UFO, or a mothership hovering above a castle. Maybe a mine where a UFO was dug up and we could do a mine coaster. Maybe a battle between aliens and some other of the animatronics we have. Maybe pirates, cowboys, a witch, some dragons could join up and fight back in the sci-fi dimension. I think that will just be a lot of fun, and we will make a full sci-fi area, of course, where we will really focus on the sci-fi theme. But I just really like everything that has to do with aliens. It gives something a little bit special to each area, so I think this could be really fun and gives me a lot of ideas. It has to be executed well, but I think I'm up for the challenge, so this also means that maybe we will have some more ideas of what we should name the park, and maybe you guys can still help me a little bit. You already sent me a few good ideas, but now we have more of an idea what the park will be like. Some of them were not really theme park names, but really cool though. I always really love to hear your ideas, so that was really cool to read those comments, and thank you for the effort. Still looking for something with gates, dimensions, and aliens. I still think that the gates theme park would work really well. It's short but strong, and I was also thinking about maybe something like Invaded Dimensions, but that doesn't really sound like a theme park name either. So, yeah, I didn't struggle this much with a name for the last two parks I did. I don't know, maybe I just care more now because this is going to be a huge project and I want to put everything I have in this one. But yeah, here I started working on the reception desk and I remember that I saw a computer. It looks a little bit old, no flat screens, but it will do. I used the same signs I did for the tables in the food court on the sides, and I will add a few more things to the interior, I think. Not a lot, but some plants and some benches. I probably could have done more, but you will never really see the inside anyway. So for now I think it's good enough. I can always add stuff later if I think of something. At this point, I still was kind of thinking to make something like a bank because I had that idea very early on. But then the idea came of the hotel and it got bigger, so I will just put the ATM in here. I don't think you will see that in the speed build, but I will show you that later. But it will go in here and I will save the idea for a bank for the western area. One of those buildings could be a western type bank. I don't know why, but Lucky Luke just popped into my head with the Daltons always trying to rob the bank. Oh man, that's long time ago. Do you guys know the comics and the cartoon? Maybe I'm old. I don't know how old it is, but I watched it when I was young. It was really funny. The last thing I will do in the speed build before we go to real time is make a sign. I really like that we can make our own signs. I wish we had some more options, like more fonts and sizes. We can change the size at all, but there's quite a lot of them you can customize, and you can find all of them in building signs and then miscellaneous, as you can see here in the menu. I just tried to find something that would fit well, added the Planet Coaster sign to it, and that's it. So let's go to real time now. Alright, here we are, and the first thing I want to show you is what I did to the food court. Since we didn't need the stairs anymore because that's on the inside of the building now, I could put it a little bit more to the front, so this is a little bit smaller, and I deleted the tables over here, or at least I put them upstairs over here, and I think this works a little bit better for if the place gets a little bit overcrowded. There is multiple ways to go inside and outside of the building now. So I didn't do anything major, I just made this hallway, maybe a door to go inside of the restaurant now. Added some toilets because it would be kind of silly to walk all the way over to the hotel to go to the bathroom, so added that. There's a really weird glitch going on, is that people just skip the corner of a stairs and just go through the wall over here to go upstairs, and that just really annoys me, and I really hope that they will fix that soon because that's just ridiculous. They all walk through here. I tried to fence it up with multiple bins and benches, but they still find a way through here, so this is really weird. I'm happy that it's on the inside now, but for future buildings I hope that gets fixed because I don't want my people to walk through the wall unless I want them to. So you go upstairs and then you get out here, and it's just symmetrical, so it's the same for the other side. I also added this wooden floor, I think, and yeah, that makes it look really nice. Then we have this little generic building, maybe a place where the staff hangs out. I put up some information signs and I changed the door a little bit, not a lot, but this window is vertical, and the other ones were just two of them stacked up on each other. I think this looks a little bit better and it makes this building over here less lonely, and it doesn't stand out as much now that this building is a little bit smaller. I didn't put an information desk in here because we already have 4 of them inside of the entrance, so that would be kind of silly. And yeah, I think it looks good though, because now you have a real nice corner here and we can maybe put down the transport ride over here. So that just looks a little bit better. Then we have this theater building, and I kind of came up with the idea because of the sign. I think, yeah, it was called theater sign, so that just gave me the idea to make a small theater. That's also something you see sometimes in a theme park. Added a bigger door, also some of the windows, so it looks a little bit modern. Added a few details, not a lot, it's just to fill up some space. Added some posters. I probably could have done more and put more effort into it, but it's just to fill up some space, so I think it's good. And the posters, just maybe there is a pirate movie going on right now. I don't know, but I think it looks really nice. And same goes for this corner. It looks a little bit better than if it would just have stopped over here. Alright, so I think next up is the fountain, and I really love this now. This was just bothering me quite a bit. It just didn't fit at all, and I really like how this looks now, so I built a wall around it. These are just separate walls because you can put that in a rotation inside of a building. That's really something I think is pretty annoying. Maybe we could just have different rotations for walls inside of one building sometime, but for now we just have to do it like this, and it's just a lot of work like this, but it came out pretty well. And I put a lot of rocks inside of here. I think this is all just one object attached to to this circle in the middle. Yeah, just put a lot of rocks in there and it looks a lot more natural now, and yeah, I really like the look of this. This looks just a lot better than what we had before. Then we have the hotel. Look at this. This is so big now and it just fills up this entire place. Added some signs to the front, so you can see what's inside of the building. Added some signs over here as well, so you can see what facilities there are in the hotel. And let's go inside. So it didn't change a lot. I think this stayed the same for the most part. Added some benches and bins. I probably could have done more, but I don't know. It's good enough as it is, and we won't be in here as much because we don't really have to deal with money a lot. So what I did do was add this ATM, and I think that's about it. I still really like the elevators. It's really cool. So let's go outside. And I think that's probably it. The last thing I want to show you is how it looks in the dark, because I did add a lot of colored light. And I think 7:15. Oh, this is good. Yeah, this is better. It's probably a bit dark for you guys, but I hope you will be able to see it pretty well. Look at this. I really love this. All the colors that are added in the nighttime makes this just... It looks so different now, and I really love that. How it can change at night. So added some different colors to the hotel, and the signs. Added a blue light to the fountain. We have some yellow lights on the food court. Purple on the theater to kind of stay inside of the theme. Red for the coffee shop, and some blue ones for this building. So yeah, it looks really cool. I love how the light reflects in these windows. It adds a lot of color to this, and I'm really happy with the result. So that was a lot of talking this episode. This is probably something you shouldn't have seen yet, but oh well, it's just the path. But that is for next episode. It's not too big of a spoiler. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I had a lot of fun making this hotel, and I just want to get this back to a time where you can see a little bit. So just thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Planet Coaster and other games. If you have some ideas for the park name, I would really love to hear them. Thank you so much for the support on this series, by the way. So far it's been pretty great, and I hope we can keep it up, because this will be a long one and there will be many great things to come. So just thank you so much, guys, and I will see you on the next one.